Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's well. We'll try to get around as much people as we can. There's obviously lots of us today. We have microphones in the room. I look to the front row here. If we're all ready at the back, we'll kick off with Alex from the BBC.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
Before we get into stuff about the game tomorrow night, could I ask some team news updates, please? There was no Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber or Martin Odegaard in training today, so are they available for tomorrow?
Yeah, they're available. They're in the squad, both of them.
How much is a boost to have?
Great, because we need options, we need the capacity to play different games tomorrow, whether it's from the start or after, so it's really, really good news for us to have them both back.
And just to clarify, that's Havertz and Odegaard?
Yes.
Thank you. You said tomorrow's game is one of the biggest in the stadium's history. So what are you looking forward to?
I can't wait. I mean, I feel the energy in and amongst the team, our supporters. So these are the moments that we want to live together. We had a lot of work as a club, as a team, after 20 years to be in this position again. And we are so hungry to get the game that we want tomorrow and go through to that final.
On Saturday, Bukayo Saka looked back to his best. So just how important is it to have him at his top level and what it does to your Arsenal front line?
Great. That's what we need when we arrive in this stage of the competition. So the players not only to be available, but to be in top condition to perform and make the difference. And Bukayo certainly gives us that.
John from Mirror.
Hello, Mikel. On Friday, you talked about defining a piece of chapter, sort of history in the club's history, really, and just. I don't know, tomorrow night feels just as epic, and just what an opportunity. How excited are you and the squad and how ready are you to grasp that opportunity?
Huge excitement, really hungry. I mean, it's difficult to express the desire to live that moment, and especially with our people in front of them. They've been waiting for so long to have these kind of nights, and push hard tomorrow because it's something amazing going to happen.
What is your final message? What will your final message be to both the players and indeed the fans, I guess?
Go and grab it. I mean, when you are in front of such an opportunity, means that you are ready to deliver, and the team is going to go from the first minute to go and get that.
Good evening, Mikel. You're so close now to achieving something extraordinary, something historic. Often managers in this position tell their players, look, we're going to ban any talk of titles, ban any talk of Champions League winning that trophy. Can you give us an insight into what your approach is, whether you've had any of those conversations with the players?
No, I mean, the conversation is always, first of all, to get the best preparation for the game. And we know the game that we're going to be playing tomorrow, the games that we're going to play tomorrow within that game. And be prepared, be ready, big quality, big clarity, and deliver on the day. That's the most important thing.
Visualization is a very powerful thing. Have you allowed yourself maybe to think about the end goal? Have you pictured Martin Odegaard lifting those trophies?
I've done it many years ago. The thing that I had in mind for this club, you can never promise to win major trophies. You can promise to work every single day with the vision and implementing and being determined with ideas and the decisions that you take to bring this club to be one of the best in Europe. And here we are. Now we have to make the next step.
Just one final one for me. It concerns Myles Lewis-Skelly. How big a selection headache has he given you? And was it an expected selection headache he's given you?
No, because I know Myles, but the same with Myles, the same with Ricky, all the players, Mosque when he's been involved, a lot of players. So that's a good thing. We always talked about in this moment we need players with a great emotional state, because I think that determines the rest, and we are feeling very good for tomorrow.
Simon the Sun.
Mikel, can I just ask, how much of your message to the players is to have no regrets tomorrow night, and when they walk off that pitch they can look in the mirror and say, I left everything out there?
Yeah, the first word, I never liked to put it into such a big night, is about what we want to happen, what we are going to do, and that's the things that we've been discussing.
And can I ask you as well, just what makes you believe this time you can make it to the final when a year ago you weren't able to take that final step?
What I see every single day. I mean, they have given me the reason to believe, to trust these players, and to be convinced that we can do it in any context against any opponent. This is football, and tomorrow we're going to have to prove it that throughout the game.
Sam, the Telegraph.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
At left back, you've got two very good players who've had very good seasons. How do you see those two with Piero and Ricky, and what kind of qualities and how they differ? And can you give us an indication of what you might want from them tomorrow?
Well, very different. We rarely had both of them available at the same time for long periods. So we're more restricted in terms of the opponent and the connection that we want to generate throughout the game or with the teammates to choose from there. Now they are both available, and that's a great option because they are, as you said, so different.
Hi, Mikel. Atletico obviously rotated their entire starting lineup over the weekend, but do you think the win over Fulham and the manner that came in is even better preparation for your side?
For us, it's great preparation. It's the preparation and the schedule that we had. We maximize that in every team, and the team has so much energy and is ready to go for more.
James, Athletic.
Hi, Mikel. There's quite a lot of supporter activity planned for tomorrow. The fans are hoping to meet the bus when it arrives at the stadium. There's a huge tifo that's going to be unveiled from the East Stand. What's your message to the supporters ahead of the game? What do you want them to bring tomorrow night?
I don't think his message is needed. I mean, it's what is at stake. It says it all. I think it's the occasion, it's the moment, it's the game. Let's live this together and let's make it happen.
Hi, Mikel. A lot of emotive words like history and excitement. We don't normally speak to you so late before a home game. How will you relax tonight? Will you sleep well? And if you're struggling, we're going to go and watch the Everton match in the pub afterwards and relax over there.
I will sleep well for sure. I'm used to working this type of hours, so there is no change. And there is a change for the reason to play the Champions League semi-final tomorrow. That's great.
Carrie from beIN Sport.
Mikel, extraordinary that these are two teams that are very well established in Europe, but yet to lift the Champions League trophy. What does that say to you about the difficulty of this competition and how much these teams will both want it so much tomorrow night?
Well, how tough is to be in the position that we are in, and in our history tells us, and the level of every team and the competition shows every day that being here deserves a lot of credit to everybody that is involved in. But obviously, we know where we want to be.
Okay, we'll do a couple more in English, then we'll go to a couple in Spanish. Tom from Football London.
Hi, Mikel. Atleti had the benefit of resting the majority of their players at the weekend that we expect to start. You didn't have that luxury because of what you have at stake in the league. But was it almost slightly more beneficial to gain that momentum and how you won that game against Fulham to lead you into this than having 11 players rested?
Yes, and as well, we didn't do anything related to tomorrow's game. Everything was related to Fulham and what we have to win the Premier League, and that's what we did. I think it left a really good taste to everybody, players, the team, the supporters, and now we have to use that momentum towards tomorrow because it's exactly what we need.
Hi, Mikel. Last week it was quite an intimidating atmosphere for the away leg, but your team coped with it really well. How much do you think your supporters can make it intimidating for Atletico tomorrow?
It was an unbelievable atmosphere, one of the best that I have witnessed, and it was great to play there. And I can't wait. I can't wait, again, to live this moment with our supporters, our people, and generate something really, really special to get into that final.
Okay, we'll do a couple of questions in Spanish. Juan from Marca first.
Buenas tardes, Mikel. You've won 41 of your 58 games this season. This has only happened once in the club's history in 1971. How much confidence does that give you to believe in this team? Well, it's about what I said earlier. It's about the way we compete, the way we play, the desire to win. We've been showing this all year, and I've shown my belief. And that conviction comes from what I see and what I feel. It'll be a different game tomorrow, but we are ready for it, ready to compete and to win. We've seen Julian Alvarez training this afternoon. Does whether he play or not affect your approach? That's something I can't control, so it can't have an effect. They'll start with 11 players and they'll bring some on and we'll do the same. So we'll just adapt to that as we always do, and we'll take the match in the direction that we feel is best. Diego Simeone says that Atleti attack better than they defend. Do you expect them to be more aggressive? Do you think they'll play in a low block? What sort of performance do you expect? We'll have to see, because I don't know what their approach will be. We know they are capable of doing so many things well, which is why they are here. There will be times for both teams to be on top tomorrow, just as there were in Madrid, and we want to play the best possible game that we can. How do you think you are perceived as a coach in Spain? I don't know. I don't know because I don't live there. I hope that as a passionate and honest person who gives absolutely everything for my club and my players. How important is it to have the Emirates packed out tomorrow? It's a dream for us to be here with a chance to reach the Champions League final in front of our fans. It's something we haven't experienced in a very long time, and it will be very special. I know you've explained it in English, but we'd like to hear it in Spanish. Odegaard, Havertz and Timber were out of training this morning, so could you give us an update? Timber is out, but Havertz and Odegaard are available. There's a feeling at Atletico Madrid that Arsenal got away with it at the Metropolitano, given the chances that Atletico missed. How have you changed your players' mindset so that this can't be repeated? Well, there were some key moments in the game, and now we're just focused on tomorrow and on our strengths so that we can take the game in the way that we would want to. You have 3 Premier League games left, 2 Champions League games potentially to become a legend and overtake Arsene Wenger in some ways. All I'm focused on now is preparing as well as possible for tomorrow, and we will take to the pitch as beasts and see where we get to.